Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how to achieve this look right here. And basically I'm calling it kind of like a glitzy summer look. You can wear this in the day depending on your comfort level. It is definitely something you can wear at night. You can glam it up, you can dress it down. It really just depends, and that's the beauty of makeup. You can make it your own. But what I'm going to do is show you how I got this look. And as always, I mentioned to you guys, if you don't have the same exact colors or the same exact palettes, then don't worry about it. You don't have to go out and buy them. You can if you want to. I'm a beauty junkie, so when I watch videos, if there's something that I love, that's what I do. But you don't have to. There's tons of affordable makeup at the drugstore that you can find very, very similar colors to if you enjoy this look. And I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you like makeup tutorials, if you like lifestyle, hair care, skincare, and if you like what you see here, I definitely invite you to subscribe down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get started. So let me preface this by saying that I love makeup, I love foundations. However, this time of year in the summertime, I tend to not enjoy wearing it as much. I have a skincare routine that I've been using, and I will eventually show it to you. That has been so wonderful, and it has significantly changed my skin. So I don't have to pile on the foundation to get that flawless look. I use a lot less of it, especially for tutorials. I like to try different things, and I'm a makeup lover, so I'm going to try different foundations and stuff like that. But to let you guys know, just on a day-to-day basis, if this was for more of a day look, I'm typically just using BB creams. Like Dr. Jart is probably my favorite right now. Another really good one is Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. Another really good one is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. So if you want to kind of tone it down and not wear as much foundation and really don't need to, those are some good options. But for the sake of a tutorial, I am going to use a foundation that is drugstore. I absolutely love this. I probably think this is my favorite drugstore foundation because I know that whenever I decide to wear a foundation, this is what I'm reaching for lately. It is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour Comfort Serum. My color is in soft beige. It is so comfortable on the skin. It gives you a nice healthy glow. You don't feel it on the skin, which is really something that I look for in a foundation. I just have to use the tiniest bit of that. So what I'm going to do before that, because I really want to get a nice hydrated and glowy, dewy look, I've already done my skincare. I'm going to start out with this Laura Mercier. This is a foundation primer in Radiance. I used to use this a long time ago, and this guy's never done me wrong, so I decided why not use it again. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I'm going to pop it all over my skin, and I'm just going to rub that in. I'm going to use my fingers. Now if you use it under the eyes, just make sure you're very, very gentle. I wouldn't be tugging over here. But already you can see this gives you a really nice radiant glow. And so voila. Do you see that glowing action right there? That definitely helps. Alright, so I came up a little bit closer so you can see my skin. I'm going to move on to this lovely foundation that has been a favorite of mine. And the only thing I don't like about it, it doesn't have a pump, so I use this just on myself. I don't know how sanitary that is. Probably dump it out on your hand, but every time I do that, a lot comes out. So that's the only downfall to this foundation. So as you can see, I'm just popping a very little bit just on the center of my face, and that is all I'm doing. That little minimal amount. So most of the blending I'm doing, most of the buffing is on the inner part of my face, and I'm just going to be taking that outward. We as women, we tend to have most of our discoloration. I mean, everyone's different, but most of our discoloration of redness, hormonal, veins, things like that are in the center of our face. So that is typically why this is a really good technique. Now, of course, do this for your skin. If you have a lot of discoloration here, you may want to do a little bit more foundation and add some here. It really just depends, again, on your skin. Okay, what next? So I haven't used this in a while. I'm going to use a Tarte Shape Tape. I've been using the Makeup Forever HD because I use a very minimal amount of that as well. But I kind of feel like doing a little bit of highlighting. I don't have as much, again, I've had really, really good success with my skincare. I don't have as much of a problem with dark circles like I used to, so I'm not really needing to color correct today. So I'm just going to use this wand, this little beautiful thing, and I don't know why, but I like the way this guy smells. So I am going to use this, and I'm going to dab very small dots. Remember, this is very, very concentrated, very pigmented. A little goes a long way. When I initially started using it, I was just like, woo, like everywhere, all over my face. You don't want to do that. You're just going to have cake bakes. So anywhere you want to highlight, just a few dots. And notice I'm not even having to pop it back into the tube. And even this looks like a lot, but I do want to get a nice highlight. So I have a pretty large forehead. I don't want to highlight that. I don't want it to come out, but I always like to kind of even it out. So I do a little bit here because I'm going to contour here. So I'm going to bring this part back and this part forward just to kind of give it more of the effect that I'm looking for. And I am going to put a little bit down at the bridge of my nose. So I'm just going to take this Eco Tools. It is a beauty sponge. It is wonderful. It's nice and wet and damp, and I'm just going to blend all of that in. And you want to make sure that you pop it onto your lids as well, because it's going to serve as a nice clean slate. It's going to get rid of any veins or discoloration that you might have there, and it's going to just make your shadows pop. What I like about this particular sponge is it has a nice flat side here and a smaller, like a shorter, flatter side here, as well as a rounded, kind of like a beauty blender. But I do like these flat angles for under your eyes, and they really are nice because this pointy, flat, it's not pointy, so this flat edge goes literally right under your eyes, which I find is nicer than the actual tip of the beauty blender. It just works better for me. So I really like these, and the price point's pretty good. You can get them at a Walgreens, a CVS, a Target, anywhere like that, any kind of a drugstore. So I take a little bit more because I do have veins that are red around my nose, and I would like to cover them. And so I'm just popping a little bit of that around my nose. And again, I'm using that flat part. And to set my face, I'm going to be using this Becca. This is called the Soft Light Blurring Powder, and it is in Golden Hour. I believe it comes in one shade. It's really nice, and I like that their powders and stuff like that are more on the natural side, cruelty-free and all that good jazz. And also, obviously, the products are really good products. The ones that I've used, most of their powder products are fabulous. So I am going to use that to powder my face. What I like about this powder is you really can't see it, but it does give a little bit of a glow. And so if you're looking for something during the day where you can't really detect a glow, can't really detect any highlighter, anything like that, this is really nice. It sets pretty much everything, and it looks beautiful, looks very natural. I even like to set my highlighter with this because again, it gives you that nice bright glow, and so it just gives you that more awake look, sets everything into place, and you can't really tell that you have a glow from a product. It kind of looks like a glow from the skin, which really is what we're all looking for the most part, unless it's an editorial look. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this product. Now, if you want something more mattifying, like this is way too much glow for you already. So if you do want something more matte to set your face with, there's tons of options. You can use a Rimmel Stay Matte from the drugstore. Laura Mercier Translucent Powder is definitely one of my favorites. I use that probably more than any other one. But yeah, so for the summertime, for a nice kind of a golden, glowy, natural look, this is beautiful, and I guess that's why they call it Golden Hour. Moving on to brows. So I'm going to use powder. I'm going to my trusty Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Brow Duo in medium brown. And I am just going to fill in my brows per usual. If you haven't seen any of my videos, I do darker on the outer parts, a little bit lighter in the inner parts, and I'm just gonna make it natural and fill in any sparse areas. Another thing I like to do in the summertime is I like to take the bronzer that I'm going to use. This is my all-time favorite. I may mix it with something else, but it tends to be the one that I grab for the most, mainly because it looks very glowy, it looks very natural, and it honestly, for me, it blends out better than any of the other bronzers that I have used. Now again, I have not used every single bronzer on the market, but the ones that I've used, this is just the one that I keep reaching for. It never looks muddy, and it just for my skin tone, I personally love it. So what I'm gonna do is, since I know I'm gonna be using this, I take a big fluffy brush, and I like the color as a transition color. So what I'll do is I'll just use that as a transition color just to kind of make it super simple. And I'm going to just pop that all over my lid, all over my eye, and kind of warm things up. So it gives your other shadows something to blend with, and it also gives a really nice warm, kind of a hint, a peak of warmth that pops out. Makes it look really natural as well. Okay, I'm gonna take the Lorac Pro palette, but you guys of course can use any palette that has similar colors. And I am going to take another big fluffy brush. This is a Sephora Pro Crease brush. It has a lot of beautiful colors in it, and today I'm looking for something that is more kind of like a melon, more of a warm color. So I am gonna go for melon, and I'm going to layer that on top of the butter bronzer. And I'm just gonna do the same exact thing, but this is just a clean brush. And it's going to give it a nice hint of color. What's really fun about the summertime is you really can play around with colors. You know, I mean, there's really not a lot of rules of makeup or no rules of makeup, but what's nice about summer is you can play with colors, you can have more fun with colors, and it's just more season appropriate. Okay, so I like the way that looks. It's got a little bit of melon on it. And then just to darken it up a little bit, I'm gonna go more so, as you saw, I went above my crease. I don't know if you saw that. I went way above my crease, almost to my brow bone. So now I'm gonna go to the darker, to the tangerine, and I'm gonna use a MAC 217, and it's a little bit denser and a little bit smaller, and I'm going to focus that mainly on my crease, and I am going to go slightly above the crease. So why am I doing this? Because when you have hooded eyes or heavy folds eyes like I do, you want to definitely go in your crease, but with eyes in the shape that we have, we don't really have a lot of lid space. So if you, for example, were to just go in the crease and didn't do any of the other stuff I just did before to get the color upwards, you wouldn't see it. So the reason I'm doing it this way, and I'm looking, you guys can't tell, but I'm looking straight ahead into a mirror, and I'm going into my crease, but I'm making sure to go, now with this darker color, I'm making sure to go slightly above the crease, because again, with a hooded eye, if you don't do that, you will not see the color unless you blink, and so it kind of is almost pointless, and it also opens up your eyes a lot, so it gives a more lifted effect, which, you know, is nice. It's a nice effect. So that is why I do that technique a lot, just to let you guys know. Now, if those of you who are just watching this for the makeup tutorial, for the colors and all that jazz, and don't have hooded eyes, you don't have to do this technique. You can just keep this straight in your crease and do the round, circular, back and forth motions just to make sure that you blend it out really, really well. You will have the same effect, you just have a different shape eye. We're all different. So just based on your eye shape, just kind of conform it to that, if that makes any sense. But for hooded eyes, definitely want to go crease and above. Now I'm going to take a really small brush and I'm going to take that same tangerine color and I'm going to bring that under my eyes with a small brush. I think I mentioned that. So what I'm going to do to just kind of sizzle it up a little bit more, I'm going to take this color Saddle, which is a nice dark brown. I'm going to use my beautiful handy dandy device here that I am obsessed with, and it takes all the shadow off, so you can use that same brush and just go to a different color. How amazing is that? I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm dipping that into Saddle, and I really want this defined, so I'm going to pop that with that same small brush just on my outer V. And take your time with this part because you definitely want to place it in your outer V. You don't want to, because it's such a dark color, you really want to take your time with this and make sure that you have it positioned where you want before you blend it out. I just find that this is the easiest way to get it where you want without making it look muddy. So I'm actually putting it, as you guys can see, like straight up right in my outer V. And what I always do with this kind of look is I will take it upwards. If you don't take it upwards, it's going to drag your eye down. You're going to look tired, sad. If you want that look, go for it. I don't want that look. I want to look awake with a lifted eye. So every time I put a dark color in my outer corner here, I definitely do a little bit of a kind of a flick and a blend, a flick and a blend, flick and a blend. Let's call it a flick and a blend, shall we? And that's what I do. That's my little technique. Flick and blend. So I'm gonna flick, and in a minute you will see me blend it. And that is going to give you a lifted effect. We'll just take a clean brush. This is an old limited edition MAC 217. I'm just going to blend that out. Okay, and if you want to go one step further, which I do, because I really don't want this to be a natural look, on my eyes at least, I'm going to take dark sienna and pop that on MAC 217. I barely tapped it in there. This does have a little bit of a shimmer to it, and so I want a little bit of shimmer. I'm just really gently going over what I just did with that dark brown, but I want it a little bit shimmery. Okay, so as you can see, that intensified it, just dabbing that on there, and we're gonna do that same blend and flick. So blend it just in the outer V and make sure you're flicking it out. You do not want to look tired and sad. Okay, so then I'm going to take a smudge brush. I'm going to take probably just Saddle at this point. I'm going to pop that right on the outer part of my lower lash line and smudge it out. If you feel like you've put too much on, just go back to that smaller brush that you used before, and I'm going to take that tangerine color again because I definitely want that on my lower lash line. And I'm just going to smudge it out. There we go. I feel like a lot of it came off. And you can just blend those two together. And if you feel like any of it came off on top, you can do the same thing. you can just add a little bit more. Sometimes when you do a lot of blending, the colors kind of fade away, so you just have to keep adding and blending. It really just depends on the shadows, how much blending you do, and all that jazz. So let's see, I want some shimmer. I'm going to use this color Moonlight. I like to do this with my finger, so I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to dab that right on the inner part of my lid. This really works the best, so you can really pack it on, especially if you want a really nice bright effect, and then you can blend it out. It works so much better than using a brush. I have no idea why, but it just does. I'm just gonna take that brush I was using before and I'm going to blend it in so that you don't see where it starts and stops. It just kind of looks magical and bright. Then you want to take an inner corner highlight brush. Again, I'm using that same color and I'm just popping it right in the inner corner. And this color is perfect because it has a little bit of shimmer and it also has some nice gold undertones to it. So it kind of matches the whole look. So for the brow bone highlight, I'm going to actually use something that is more matte. So I'm going to use the color Porcelain, which is right here. It is light, it's matte, and I'm just going to pop that on my brow bone. Okay, so one thing I did not do is set my brows. I always like to set my brows. They're long, unruly, and have grown a lot, and so I don't want to deal with filling them in, fixing them throughout the day. So I'm just using a clear brow gel. It's going to set them in place. I don't have to worry about them for the rest of the day. Done. So let's move on to my beautiful favorite butter bronzer and tap off the excess. I'm just going to bronze my face. It's a lot of fallout. I must have taken a lot out of there, gosh. And that's what's nice about this bronzer. Even if you take out a lot, do you see how it's not muddy? A lot of bronzers, you really have to be careful and you really have to blend them in and blah, 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 and all that stuff. I'm not saying they're not good, but you just have to be a little bit more careful with this one. It's a lot more, it's just a lot easier to get the look you want. And if you fudge it up, it's a lot easier to fix. I like to go down here, and I also like to bring it down to my neck just in case. I have no idea why, but my neck tends to always be a little bit a different color than my face and the rest of my body, which is so bizarre. So something I also have been loving doing lately is taking this MAC Studio Care Blend Pressed Powder in the color Dark, and it looks like this. So it kind of looks like a bronzer, but very, very dark. I use a minimal amount of it, almost to kind of go on the, just on the perimeter, just to kind of give, again, my forehead a smaller appearance right here. And this is another one that blends out really nicely because it is a powder. So it gives a really nice effect, but also gives you a really nice bronze glow. But at the same time, I also feel like it kind of contours, even though it's not meant for contouring. I don't know. It works for me. And now I'm gonna move on to blush. This is like my all-time, one of my all-time favorite blushes ever. It is called Lotus Pink. I know I've talked about it in different videos. It is so freaking gorgeous. It looks like this. I hope you guys can really get the quality on the camera, and it really comes out kind of like more of a pinky peach. So you really can wear this with a lot of colors. I don't know if you can see that, but you will see it on my face in just a minute. Tiniest amount of this, tap off the excess because it's a lot of pigment, and just pop it on your cheeks. So So what's nice about this is it's such a beautiful glow. You don't even have to wear a highlighter if you don't want to. You can, you don't have to, but see how it's got a nice sheen, like a nice healthy glow to it. So it just kind of does like, you know, 2 in 1. Take a nice clean brush, touch of the blush, and literally just pop a tiny bit onto your lids. I don't know why, but I feel like this makes a huge difference and kind of ties the whole look together. To finish out the eyes, we are going to, of course, put some liner, some kohl liner on to our waterline as well as tight line. So I'm picking a brown shade. I use this one a lot. You guys probably know what I'm about to say. It is Black Cocoa by Pixie. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just pop that on my, very close to my upper lash line. And I'm going to blink it out, and then I'm going to put it on my waterline. So I'm also going to take a tiny bit. Now, again, if you guys have hooded eyes, do not make a thick wing. You're going to lose all of your lid space. I'm going to take the smallest amount, as you're about to see, right at the lash line. Like, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Like the tiniest amount. This is really creamy and it goes a long way. And then I'm gonna take a brush and I am going to just smudge it. So again, that just gives it more of a smoky effect. And it also makes your lashes look thicker, which is also a nice bonus. Okay, so as you can see, I've not taken away any of my lid space. Again, if you guys don't have hooded eyes, if you don't have this issue with worrying about how much lid space you have, you don't have to worry about that. You can make that thickest liner that you want. So again, you just want to do a little, whatever's left on that brush, you're going to turn it sideways and you're just going to do a little flick up. Okay, then I'm going to curl my lashes. Then I'm going to take one of my favorites. This is the Lancome Hypnose Drama Mascara. So this gives a lot of volume to your lashes. If that is something you were looking for, this will do the trick. Okay, just kidding, it gives a lot of length. I'm trying not to move my lashes to let them dry. For lips, I'm going to line my lips with the Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in True Instant Color, in the color nude. Basically, a nude lip liner. This is a beautiful color. I have not worn this in a very long time. It is a Bare Minerals Moxie Never Say Never. And let's see, let's give it a go. Oh yeah, super pink. These are so creamy. I forgot how good they were. Wow, these feel so good. And I think I like this color with this look, so I'm going to stick with it. So if you guys like the way that this turned out, then give this video a thumbs up. Let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, I hope that you learned something and are able to have an easy time recreating this look. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And have a great summer. See you guys soon. Bye guys.